to the September 8th Guilford Selectboard meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:30. And Chip?
Yeah, here we
would
go.
you take it away?
I definitely will. Vermont's open meeting law, 1 VSA 312H, requires that the public be given a reasonable opportunity to express opinions on matters considered by the board, provided order is maintained under reasonable rules set by the chair. The select board invites public comment on each agenda item, an approach designed to support public engagement and meaningful participation in the board's decision-making process. And to help keep this meeting on track, time limits will be applied. Comments should remain focused on the agenda item being discussed.
Excellent.
There we go.
Thank you so much,
Got it.
Chip. Have we any changes to the agenda order? Hearing none. It's now time for public comments. Does anybody have a public comment to offer?
I'll make a little one.
Oh, okay,
So we're now a week out from the Guilford Fair, which was awesome
fantastic.
and really well organized by an amazing group of volunteers and committee members. Emily was there from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, I'm sure, for 2 days.
Well, not that long.
But pretty much. Doing everything, traffic, running the go-kart and everything like that. And I will say that for the first time, I participated by selling tickets and it was a blast. So next year, if anybody wants to volunteer, please do. It's really so much fun to work at the fair. That's it.
It was a totally great
It
fair.
was a lovely fair. I missed your
Great.
performance, but
Oh, playing bingo?
yeah, no,
Oh.
didn't you sing there?
No.
Oh, I didn't.
I won the axe throwing contest.
You want what?
I won the axe throwing contest.
The axe
Jeez, really?
throwing contest.
I missed
Wow.
that.
Fame.
Oh, so I just have one more little thing.
Yeah.
I did watch the chainsaw thing
Yeah.
and the cross, whatever that.
Crosscut.
Yeah,
Crosscut
crosscut
sock?
sock competition.
You can tell I'm a real Vermonter, right? And which is what I am. And I stood there for about 25 minutes watching this with, Kyle Parker and Matt Stinchfield and Lisa Berry and a whole bunch of other people. And I was saying to the person next to me, imagine telling somebody from Boston or New York City or Orlando, Florida, that you're watching them cut this 8x8 log for half an hour.
Yeah. Note to self though, stay on Tara's good side with the axe throwing.
Well, I'm not going to brag about my blue ribbon vegetables because that would be inappropriate.
Would it? Really?
But
Which ones were they?
I do want to announce that our health officer, Richard Davis, is once again hosting the Windham County Emergency Heat Fund fundraiser on Sunday, the 14th of September at 7 p.m. and it will be at the Heart Rose Club, 11 Green Street in Brattleboro. And Patty Carpenter and I will be among the entertainment factors, but it's a great cause and I hope that people will come. And thanks to Richard Davis always for thinking of this, and he and Daryl Pillsbury, it's just awesome. So, okay, well, that was all pretty freeform. But now we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the 8/25/25 meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, and we're all here, right?
Yeah.
All in favor of approving those minutes indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Oh, nay, nays, and no abstentions. Okay, I'm gonna get this really together very soon. Okay, so we have passed the minutes. And Tara, would you like to handle the finance action?
Yes, I'd like to move to accept the warrants as written. Payroll week 8/31/25 for $7,890.68. Expense warrant number 2605 for $27,693.87, for a total of $35,584.55.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any conversation about this?
Yes, I'm just gonna go over some of the expenses. $2,180 was for Amentum Technologies, which is a Lister required software. We had $422.28 for Comcast, which I looked at Erica, I'm like, boy, that's high. And then she sent a note saying it's higher than it will be going forward because she just got a new contract for $339.94. Good job, Erica.
Contract expired and they snuck a bill right in there.
$7,173.55 is to Fisher and Fisher. This was for the tax sale legal expenses, but it was all recouped and recovered either by the purchaser or the taxpayer.
It will be.
It will be. It will be.
Yes.
Okay, $4,443.34. Innovative Surface Solutions, which is for chloride for the roads. $5,297.97 is Beamer's withholding, which is monthly. $1,328.21 is Vermont State Department of Taxes payroll tax. And then $885 was to Expert Lawn Care for mowing the town office, library, historical society, museum, and playscape. We had been holding the payment until his non-employee work agreement was signed, and that happened at the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. So, all in favor of approving these warrants, say aye, please. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So just a question, when the town gets reimbursed for the expenses of the tax sale, where does that go? I mean, does it go back into our general fund?
Yes. Short answer, right, Ellie?
The money goes into our general fund when the tax fees are paid, and then it gets paid out to Fisher and Fisher.
Oh, I see. So, but we just paid a warrant to Fisher and Fisher?
Right. We had a tax sale, which had income, and we had several people right before the tax sale pay up. So those people who paid up, who were in the tax sale process,
Yes.
actually had to pay for legal fees
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. So all that money that was brought in for those legal fees, postage, lawyer's time, in 2 cases, serving with a sheriff had to take place. All those expenses are covered and by the fees that are brought in, and then we pay out to Fisher and Fisher. There's one exception to that, the one property that went up for tax sale, but there was no bid. The legal fees don't get paid for that. It's just, we wait until the next tax sale, or,
I see.
and then if something happens, then we'll get.
Well, thank you so much for filling that in. I find it endlessly fascinating and confusing. So it's good, I'm good for now.
Good.
Okay, so next we go to updates and reports, and it's over to you, Erica.
Thank you. Last meeting, we approved FY26 grants and aid from V-Trans, and we got that executed from the state this week, so that is all in place, just waiting for us to do our stone line ditching next year.
Ah, yes.
I helped the 2 select board members who interviewed a new road crew member, get them prepared with his resume and his job description, and that interview was successful. More on that in a little while. I signed a new contract. No, I didn't sign it yet. I had a question that they have yet to answer, but we are working on a new Comcast contract. So that will lock in our price for 2 years. And then I will put on my calendar when it expires, so it doesn't expire again. I finally they hadn't sent this until someone called me and I told them a phone number to call. And this resident called Green Mountain Power and said, why don't we have a schedule of where you're going to be? And within 10 minutes of her phone call, they sent me the schedule. So I posted it last week
Right.
on Friday for last week's schedule, and now posted on our website is this week's schedule and next week's. So they send us the schedule 2 weeks in advance, and now we have it there. It's not down to the foot or address, but it's rough and what they're going to be doing and what days they're going to be where. Let's see. We are starting to get our social service appropriation requests for the next fiscal year, and so that starts me in motion with work on the town report and everything that goes into that, and budgets. So it's that time of year, and there's leaves in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And one more positive thing. Mo Momini started last week painting the Historical Society Museum building, and it looks really great.
Mhm.
And he said he may be finishing up tomorrow, so if any of you want to go pay him a visit and thank him tomorrow if you drive by. I plan to stop by if I can. I think it's looking really good. He did a really good job. Okay,
Well,
that's me.
okay, well, thank you, Erica. It always.
Ellie, do you have something?
Oh, Ellie. Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
wanted to quickly have Erica add about the government institute.
Oh God, yes, I
Oh,
had that
Fran.
on my list, and I had my printouts here. Thank you, Ellie.
And thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, everyone. You and
Thanks
thanks
a village.
She had her hand up politely.
a village, truly. I had it on my list, and I have these papers. So Ellie and I went to Barrie on Friday to the Vermont Local Government Institute first in-person class, hosted by UVM and VLCT. And it was really wonderful. We spent the whole day doing leadership workshops and learning about managing complex change and teamwork. And we learned a consultancy protocol, which
Could you just say what that is?
well, it's a way to work through issues in a group. So,
Did you and Ellie have any time to connect with any of your peers and just?
All day long.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was nice.
So are we sort of mainstream here about, all the things that come up for us?
Everybody,
much.
we share issues with
Many towns.
many towns, yeah.
Mhm. Well, I think it's just great that you both got to attend that workshop. It's the first of how many?
10?
I think so.
It goes into mid-December.
Right now,
Wow.
it's the only in-person one. They're hoping to do some more in-person, maybe
Uh-huh.
change some of it. And the presenter, his name is Paul Yoon. Fantastic.
Mhm. Well, I'm so proud that you wanted to and that we got to make that possible. That's
Yes, thank
great.
you.
Yes, thank you.
My, makes me sleepy just to think about. Okay, now, really? Okay, Jimmy, you're on.
Okay.
I always feel like dozing before these reports too.
No. Oh, I see you two have a special
Yes, we
relationship.
do.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the highway department. We moved, you probably know, but we moved the electronic speed sign up from the Blueberry House at Summer Home over to the Heinsberg Road.
Uh-huh.
Dick Clark's initial comment was he thinks they see the sign and speed up. But I think they're good. They always wake me up. And the state really, 2 years ago, really made a big effort of putting them all over because every little town I go through, they hit you. And they really do, you know, if you're not from there and you're traveling along, you can be going a little too fast. And they always wake me up and, you know, make you more aware. So in any case, and I didn't know where else that was going to go. I assume it was adjusted. We did cut one tree that was right in the way. It was leaning out anyway. So there's a pretty clear shot of that sign, so you can pick it up for a couple 100 feet, which is good. Sometimes the physical barriers make it difficult, but that one's a good shot. So last week we did some road work on Creamery. We had an area that is flat and full of ledge, and every time there's a big rainstorm, we go and fix it. And so I just thought, you know what? Let's throw a little at it and see if we can fix it. Next rainstorm, I'll tell you if it worked or not. But I thought it was, you know, something like that. I'm glad to do work today. That will save us work.
Yeah.
Every rainstorm forever. Like, I mean, it was just a continuous problem. And, you know, I hope that it'll be better, but I hope it works out the way we hope. Some things in life you just got to do them and find out. So we're off of Guilford Street. I'm sure we stayed out of the road pretty much, but current projects, GMP's going down the road. They've now had like 2 weeks into it, or the first week was a partial, very limited because it was a holiday coming up. And I will tell you that they immediately hit ledge, as was my prediction. And they got across the bridge and they hit more ledge and they gave up for a bit. And then the next day they made a nice run of it. So I would assume that they will be turning onto the river road, and then we'll see how the mop up they do. I did want to physically go and look in the culverts and see if they cut them and see if they're plugged, and yes they are. And so if we got 2 inches of rain, we're probably going to have some kind of an issue, but why worry about something that hasn't happened? So I'm sure it'll come right along, but they are moving. Projects coming up, I mentioned before, but the back of stage roads will be ditched, and the paving on the center road, I do not have dates for either, but the fall is such a busy time, like just like you at home. Nobody will give me a date, but as soon as I know, we'll let everybody know. I mean, everybody's scrambling. Most people have more work than what seems physically possible to do, but they're committed to us, so that'll be where that goes. We'll just play it day by day. I did get quotes on the band rail on Tyler Hill. That's one of the most pounded band rails that I've ever seen.
What's a band rail?
Guardrail.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay. No.
And
I like
no,
technical
that's good.
talk.
From the top of we own from the hill, the top of Tyler Hill,
Okay.
the last drop, and you know, every snowstorm somebody bangs off it, and it's you know, they last a long time, but it's time. And the quote came in pretty good, so I think I'm going to try to pursue that, and they may be able to do it this fall, and then it'll be right, and it'll last longer than me, so it'll be fine. I didn't mean to say that, but you know what I mean. There's a longevity into it's lasted a long time. It's just that time, and so that's where we're going with that, and I will cut myself off with that.
Oh, okay. I understand that we have a new highway department member.
We do, as of this morning.
Uh-huh.
We do. We also have one less than we had.
Yes.
So the net gain was 0. We still have 4 members of a 5-person team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But congratulations on your new member.
that's right. That's right. High hopes.
Yeah.
And I want to say, give a lot of credit to Jimmy. We wouldn't have gotten this person, Rob, or was it Rob or Bob? I forgot.
Bob,
Bob.
yeah, that's
But,
close.
If it wasn't for Jimmy, so really appreciate him recruiting somebody with a lot of experience, so that's really great for us.
Yeah.
Who'd you steal him from?
Retirement. No, you know, and their experience in life counts, but it doesn't solve Guilford's long-term problems.
Right.
It'd be nice to have a 35-year-old. We do have a younger, I don't know if you can talk about age, but somebody that's going to work for another 25 or 30 years, that'd be great. A couple, 3 of them would be excellent. But we tend to look, I look 6 months to a year in advance. But we have to get through today. And winter's coming when it felt like it the last
Yes, it did.
couple days. There's a little bite in the air in the morning. So
Right.
We saw our breath this morning.
yep, that's right. It was 40. We had 42 over here in the hemlocks over on the switchbacks. That's getting down there.
What are your thoughts about something I've mentioned before, and
Mhm.
that's on Carpenter Hill, like in front of Stuart and Barbara Hunt's old house, making that one way instead of a two-way road, because
Making Hunt Road a one-way
no,
road?
not the whole thing. You know how it's a fork?
Yes.
You go this way to Heinsberg or this way to Heinsberg, but you
Right.
can't. The one on the left, like if you're going towards Heinsberg, if you meet somebody, like if you meet somebody and you have a truck or you have a trailer, you have to back up.
Yes.
You
It
absolutely
is
have to
one
back
lane wide. Yes.
Right, and not everybody can back up.
Yes.
And
Oh,
not
that's for sure.
And not everybody is going to always be cordial, and like the smaller of the vehicle go back up the hill.
Right.
So I think that, I mean, this is Fred talking. Like he's like, I met someone again.
Yes.
You know, luckily I can back up.
So
But if I've got
yeah.
someone in a truck that isn't as experienced as I
Yes.
am, then someone's going to end up in a ditch.
yeah. So long answer. We improved that road quite a bit. We built it up because it was always a mud hole, and the one pull off halfway down that you could exchange vehicles, which we do on a lot of roads, but there's not much traffic on Jelly Mill, so it doesn't matter. You know, we just do the closest one to the pull off pulls
Right,
in
right.
if you're polite.
Right.
In this case, building it solved. There's good ditches, and it solved the water problem sitting in the road. It's a one-lane road. So just to clarify, as you're going down Carpenter Hill towards Heinsberg, to the right is Carpenter Hill Road, and to the left is named Senator Hunt Road. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. So
Right.
you are talking about Senator
Yeah,
Hunt
I
Road.
am talking about that road.
Yes,
Maybe
and
having
so
it be on an agenda to make it a
yes,
one-way road.
so that would be up to either the select board or the people. It is a one-lane road.
I just wanted your opinion on it before I.
It's not a bad idea, because like you said, and if you're pulling weight in a trailer, you can't really back up. But I meet a lot of people that literally cannot back up.
Right.
I can be almost to the bottom and I will back all the way back to the Y,
Right.
because they're just not doing it. They're
Right.
just terrified and they're not doing
So
it.
I think to avoid some type of somebody having to be pulled out of a ditch or a fist fight, maybe we should talk about, the select board should,
Yep.
I should try to get that on an agenda.
Yep. And what would your proposal be? The person with gravity going down the hill?
Yeah.
That it going towards Heinsberg Road?
Yeah,
And
So
be
that would
locked off
be-
to the person coming up the hill?
correct.
I would
think
agree with
so.
that, because if you're gonna do that,
Mhm.
that person going up the hill can go another 200 yards and take a right easily.
Right.
But
And
if you're
round
coming
the corner,
downhill with a truck or a logging truck or a plow,
you can't
it's
make that one
difficult.
corner.
to back that hill,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, there's some good drivers. I mean, Fred could do it, but a lot of people couldn't do it.
Right.
And it's really not fair when you have that kind of weight and gravity to back up.
Right.
So if you're going to do it, that's the way I would.
All right. Well, thank you for your opinion.
So what
Absolutely.
is the process.
I was just gonna,
Oh, go ahead, Sheila.
so I was gonna suggest that we're probably going to be considering the traffic ordinance October. And this would be a really good time to examine that, if we're gonna modify, revise the traffic ordinance and post the changes and stuff like that. This would be the time, like, end of September, beginning of October, to also consider that proposal.
And so, oh, there's Steve, hi.
Oh, no, you can finish your comment, just have a conversation.
No, have at it.
Steve Lemke, River Road, this same conversation, unless I'm Nostradamus or something, this came up at a select board meeting. This exact conversation has been had 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that, and it never went any farther than it has right now. And I would echo that, the quick right off Heinsberg Road going toward Brattleboro should be the one way up, and the one coming down should be to the right, should be the one way down, at least in my opinion, because everybody wants to stay to the right, keep going down, come up, you can stay to the right and keep right and climb it, at least that would be. But I do think it should be on the agenda formally at some point so it can get done, because it's not good. And just a quick update on GMP is on River Road. It's quite a spectacular machine that they use and the way they do it, but I came down through there with a trailer the other day in front of, right behind somebody else with a trailer, and I got through just fine. And so, a lot better than sometimes when I just meet one of the neighbors. So, it's a huge machine. It's worth I'm not advocating everybody drive down to take a look, but after hours, it's pretty impressive to drive down and see something that is that long and that powered up to do what it's doing. So, anyway, I praise them right now.
A truly unusual machine. Okay, well, thank you all. So, in terms of, getting the change on the agenda is one thing. We don't need to have a traffic study or anything like that to make such a change. It's just recommendations and decision-making. Okay, terrific. So noted.
No.
Okay,
And also,
He's outta
I
here.
will keep running our help wanted ad,
yes, and
because we still have an opening.
yes, and thank you to Chip and to Mike for assisting in the hiring process. It's
Do it.
great.
I think you're good.
Did Dickie enjoy his going away
Dismissed?
party?
He did. I think everyone did that attended that. Yes.
It was best party I've been to.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, great.
So
Okay,
we're good.
Thank you.
All right.
thanks so much. Okay, so moving right along. Okay, so we're on old business now, and it's time to talk about the speed limit in Guilford Center Village. So Erica, would you like to give us the latest update on this?
Do you mind if I run through that? I kind of got it
Oh,
prepared.
sure,
That'd be
sure.
great.
Oh,
That'd be
thank
great.
you, Chip.
Yeah. So, because it's all good news and it'll be nice to see, but it takes a little backtracking. So back in 2019, the select board voted to lower the Guilford Center Road section to 25 miles an hour. So the intent was clear, but the ordinance paperwork didn't get updated.
Right,
So V-Trans came in with a curve project this summer. They installed the 25-mile-an-hour signs. It's been a 6-year project that they're doing all over the state. So
Right.
that's why they're just doing it now when this thing was kicked in 2019. And so anyway, as Taylor Sisson from V-Trans puts it, we might have gotten ahead of ourselves by installing the signs
Right.
before the ordinance update. I'm just saying this for the record in case.
no, it's
anybody's
very
interested.
good.
So the good news is, V-Trans, the deadline is October 17th. So V-Trans has said they'll leave the 25-mile-an-hour signs up until mid-October, which gives us time to fix the ordinance. We don't have to remove the signs while the work is being done, so they still will help calm traffic. Here's what we need to do. There's a Vermont statute that gives the select board clear authority to establish a speed limit based on our own traffic study using WRC's equipment. and then we adopt a revised ordinance based on that data. So there are 3 steps to accomplish that. We have to borrow speed monitoring equipment from Wyndham Regional for a new traffic study. We've got to use that study to look at the 25 mile an hour with fresh data, like speed survey, roadside conditions, pedestrian use, which to me means, tied to the library, the historical society, BBCC had over 300 events over a year. There's a lot of pedestrians.
Yes.
Meeting house. One side note, in conjunction with that study, which we don't have to decide right now, but because the 25 mile an hour signs are already posted, we might consider removing them for part of the study period to capture comparison data, because everybody else was doing 35 or 40 when they pulled the signs and knocked it down to 25, but that's a separate issue. But anyway, so if the data supports a lower speed limit, and I'm confident that it will, and residents have strongly supported that, which I'm glad to see, then all we do is draft, adopt, and publish a traffic ordinance that references that section of Guilford Center Road, and then once that's done, the 25 mile an hour speed limit will be on a solid foundation. So the bottom line is 25 miles an hour can stand, but we've got to go through a little bit of a process to get it so it protects the town legally and lasts
Right.
long term. And I've got not that I'm gonna pass them around, but a template for the Guilford, Vermont Amendment Ordinance. And then I also looked at the last one, and there's some little sentences that we can clean up just to make it a little bit better and, give us more adherence to what needs to be done in it. So that's where we are.
I think Chip's volunteering to revise the ordinance once.
Yeah, I could do that, sure.
Okay. So Erica, did you have anything that you wanted to add to Chip's excellent summary?
Yes, that is excellent. I am still waiting word from Colin, our transportation person from Wyndham Regional. I think we should be able to get the equipment in here to do that traffic study, but I suggest that we already have it in the radar sign.
Oh,
Because
cool.
Really,
That's the
all
data.
the study is
Speed.
it's speed.
Speed data.
Yeah.
It's speed
Good
data.
thinking.
So we have
Brilliant.
that information already.
So I'll drive by 50-52 for a week and.
Yeah.
I'm just
Skew
kidding.
the data.
Yeah, skew the data.
Well,
So Erica, do we want to authorize you to have Wyndham Regional sort of organize the data into a study to save us the work of doing it?
well, literally, it's just a report using
Yeah.
the
Yes, you
equipment,
can produce it.
I recommend doing that motion, just authorizing me to request the study from Wyndham Regional in case I talk to Colin and it seems like an appropriate thing to do, because maybe we could do that somewhere else in the village, a little bit down from his radar sign.
Okay, does everybody understand this?
Yeah, I do have a question. So, thinking that we already have the traffic study, can we just approve the 25 miles an hour, keep the signs as long as we do it by October 17th, if that's the date?
No.
No.
I think the select board needs to find that it is appropriate
Okay,
using a study, so.
but we can,
Get this done in time
yes.
to,
okay.
Yeah, because if
Yes.
it doesn't make it by the deadline, then they go back to 35
Okay.
miles an hour, the signs.
yes.
So Tara, one of the things that we discovered in checking this out is that the original study expired 2019, and the next study we do, we need to like evaluate and present and stuff like that, but then we need to post an ordinance for 60 days. So that's then becomes the final approval. The select board cannot do anything without those 2 steps.
But they can leave the 25 mile
Yes.
an hour signs
Yes.
there until October something?
Yes.
Okay.
And then presuming that we have the official report on the traffic study, then we'll be able to leave them in place and also work on our cleaning up and updating our ordinance.
And so the rest of the road, Guilford Center Road, is 45.
The rest of
down
Guilford,
to Blueberry House.
wait a
So
minute,
from
the rest
the old
of,
town garage to Guilford store.
I think it
It goes at
varies.
35 at the,
Yeah.
the house, but
Well, but that's yellow signs, the caution
Right.
speed limit.
Mike's
The
right.
actual speed limit is 45, which.
it's 35 outside the Blueberry House. Because that's where it goes, that's where the other speed
35
limit.
then,
Yeah.
yes, that's right.
So it's
You're correct.
45 all the way to the Blueberry House, and it
Right.
drops to 35 the rest of the way.
Now, let me just understand this, because there might be something I just don't get, but there are signs around, near the Greenland bends, so-called, that say 30 miles an hour.
Those are advisory, not
They're yellow.
mandated, they're yellow.
That's not
And
the
they
speed
always
limit.
have to be next to a geography thing, like curves, a hill, or ramp, you know,
There,
it's advisory.
Be warned, if you're
Is the
smart,
speed
you're gonna go
limit-
30,
In Greenland Bends, 35 or 45,
45.
and that's too fast.
Yeah.
Yes, it
agree
is.
I
with
think
you
it's too
completely.
fast all the way down the whole road.
I
mean,
think
it's
it
just
should be
settled everywhere.
35 except Guilford
Right.
Center, and that should be
I
25.
agree.
What
Because
does it take to change it to 35?
Well, we could do if which Erica's idea was great. We've had the data from the other side of the Blueberry House up for over a year, right?
Yes.
So we could-
We've
And
had
I'll volunteer to track that down, because I know you got plenty on your plate, and we've been talking with Taylor, but I don't know if she's the conduit for it, but I could find out through her who to find, but just get the information and compile it in something and send it your way if you want to. But so we'd have the Blueberry House sign, and then we would have the Guilford Center sign.
So from, right now, it's 45 miles an hour from Sweet Pond intersection to the 25 mile an hour.
Yeah,
yes,
That's 45 miles an hour there, which is crazy also.
Mhm.
So you're saying the data we get from the Blueberry House study would cover the whole?
I think so, because you're coming down and you would see most people, I think, are going 47 or higher when
Right.
they hit 35 outside of the Blueberry House.
Right.
So yeah, you could at least have the speed data and
Right.
see what it showed, you know?
Right, because, it's about, what, 6 mile length of road?
It is 6
Guilford
miles
Center
exactly,
Road?
yeah.
And it's crazy that we
It's
go
crazy.
from 45 to
30.
25 to 30 to 35. It's really.
And 45 is, I agree with you, it's
Yeah.
too
we
fast.
did it the other day. We were just we were
Yeah.
testing it
Can't
on
do it.
Greenland Bends, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And
It
then especially if people are actually going 50,
Yeah.
because
is. And it's
people normally go
becoming
5
more
miles
and
over the
more
speed limit.
prevalent. I travel the road a couple times a day usually, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. I run into bikers certainly on the road, Guilford Center Road, and now pedestrian traffic, people jogging and walking, and it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
On those corners, and it's not just for the pedestrian or biker, but it's because people are passing on curves and setting up a head-on collision.
No,
I
true.
know that's the other danger of the way it's set up now.
Sheila,
So, we have one deadline, which is October, and that's for the Guilford Center Road signs. And then we might wanna change other signs going up, going down Guilford Center, going north on Guilford Center Road, right?
Right,
But we should maybe stage this, because we can still collect data, but maybe we can move a radar speed alert sign from Weatherhead Hollow to someplace on Green.
that'd be a
what
good
is it,
idea too,
Green
yeah.
Bend. I think we need another data point between the old town garage and the Blueberry House to sort of assess that.
Yeah,
Need
maybe
for
something
speed
that
limit.
goes past like,
the Weatherhead Hollow Bridge.
yeah,
So that we
Right on
actually
that.
have a little more.
Yeah.
Strip.
right.
But we
into
do
that
have to
curve.
do one part.
This is where these Wyndham regional studies come in.
Yeah.
Really handy, because you don't really see them or know what
Yeah.
they're for when you drive there, so it's just like, you get the natural
Right.
behavior of the people
So they
rather
could-
than having.
You could ask them to set up another couple points at some point on Guilford Center Road, but our deadline for the 25 mile an hour signs is
October
October.
17th.
So,
I like
And we
the idea of sticking to
keep
the
going.
one on Weatherhead, right up from the bridge.
Yeah, And then right when people come off Sweet Pond Road onto Guilford Center.
Yeah.
That is like a speedway. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
hear it, it's
Well,
crazy.
also right here from the town garage or school road, that's where people start picking up speed, because it says 45.
Yeah.
And they really take off there to quite a clip. I can say that from my biking.
Well, clearly, we need to attend to the slightly longer range revision. I mean, I just learned about signs as recommendations and I'm still processing that. My late husband used to say that the double line on the road was just a recommendation and that you could pass anywhere. But
Well, that's
That
true
is-
in Vermont.
Yeah,
That is true in Vermont.
he was
Crazy
a
as well.
lawyer.
It's
Okay, but I don't want to get too distracted because we do want to have a motion to authorize Erica to order Wyndham Regional to do the traffic study report. And so I so move. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay. Oh, you're just doing your hair.
Scratching my head, Elizabeth, scratching my
Okay,
head.
so all in favor?
I'm puzzled by.
Okay, opposed? Okay, and nobody has abstained. So, yeah, it's clear that we need to pay. I mean, do you think that we need to have like a traffic subcommittee for people who are, you know, if a few of you are passionate about dealing with the speed limit, you want to come in with some recommendations, or shall we just continue having
all on
a?
the same page.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
great.
Sounds like
And
we are.
like, yeah.
Okay, then let's have a rousing.
I have one thing to add as part of this conversation. I got the rest of the quote that I was seeking from Traffic Logics for just one radar sign
Oh,
is $3,000 and it doesn't really go down if you order two. And a 3-year renewal for the cloud business is $1,000. A 7-year renewal is $2,000.
Maybe we could put that on the highway budget.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
well, let's keep that in mind,
Just
because
information, yeah.
I
I
do,
think, as Jimmy was saying, I think those signs really do make people pay attention, and they're of real value.
So
It's
I
always like-
I got a visit from Dick Clark today from Heinsberg Road, and he said that he thinks that the sign is slowing people down, except for one person. But he said he thought that helped, yeah.
oh, he did,
Mm-hmm.
well, awesome.
Heinsberg.
I have had anecdotal evidence from people, and I have sat in cars next to people who actually did slow down, so good. Okay, so are we ready to move on? We're going to new business, and there's an action on participation in new opioid settlements. And in my understanding, and Erica can help me with this, or anybody else who's really up on it, we have gotten some small bit of funding from prior opioid settlements for the town, but they've been too small an amount of money for us to do anything with. And presumably, if we ask to have the amount of money that would be allocated for the new settlement to a town of 2,100 souls, we would get another minuscule amount of money. And so the recommendation that I understand is that our action would be to authorize Erica, I guess, to allocate our part of the settlement to the state so that they might do some substantive work on recovery or prevention on a statewide basis. Is that accurate?
Yes, we
Okay.
have been signed on to a different opioid-related settlement since 2023, and we've received a grand total of $110 from that, in various amounts from $3 to $11 here and there. So I reached out to the Attorney General of Vermont, and they said that this settlement would probably result in similar payments because they're based on population. So the guidance from the Attorney General is if you're a town of under 10,000 people and have not brought an opioid lawsuit, you have two choices. You can do nothing and share your settlement funds, and your share of the settlement funds will go to the state opioid abatement fund, or you can complete this paperwork which signifies that you would like your town to receive its share of the settlement funds directly. So my recommendation, based on our town's capacity to do anything with that amount of money, is to just take option one and do nothing and let the states fund get our share.
Okay, so the motion would be to turn our share of the opioid abatement fund to the state?
Right.
Is there a more graceful way to say it?
Really do nothing, we don't have to,
We don't have to have a motion.
well, if you don't wanna do anything, I don't think you need to move that.
Well, hey, okay, how do people feel about doing nothing?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
I think it costs more to accept the money
Right.
in work.
In staff time, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, and I do hope that they can do something truly worthwhile because we all take this really seriously. It's just ravaged lives and collateral damage. So, okay, so the next item on the agenda is the FY25 professional audit. And so several people have done work on this, and I'd like to have Sheila or Erica, do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So we had our second visit of the summer from our auditor last week, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Since our last select board meeting.
Yeah, so the week of our last select board meeting, the auditor was in the office and fleshing out some things that she alerted us to the potentiality of during her first visit in June. But it turns out that she's going to have some findings this year in the audit, and that is that FY 24, 25, and 26, which we are in the middle of now, the 003 budget was was determined accurately and reflected accordingly in NEMRIC, but the article was figured incorrectly for FY 24, 25, and 26. So what that means is at town meeting, the town voted for a budget that was not quite enough.
The town meeting didn't vote for a budget. The town meeting voted to raise
To
taxes
raise taxes.
based on a number that wasn't reflected by the
In the
budget,
article.
that was different from that was in the budget.
Right, so the calculation for the article was different from the final calculation for the budget. And that is due to a complex system that we've been using that we're going to try to take steps to make simpler. But I don't think I'm explaining this right. I feel like I'm
You're
missing
doing
some
good. Let me
things.
take,
You're doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go from there? We have a tax shortfall, basically, for the last 2 years. And we knew about the one for FY 24 when we saw that $189,000 was moved from the reserves to the general fund based on a shortfall. But it wasn't really questioned at the time, although the auditor says that the reason for that could have been delinquent taxes. Because it wasn't overspending in any areas.
Right.
So it's just, it's a lot
Do you want me to
to,
pick this up a little?
sure. I mean, so my next thing is to say what the select board needs to do now.
Okay,
Based
but I
on the
think we might
auditor's
wanna
report.
talk a little bit before about
Sure.
why this wasn't noticed before,
Yes.
and where the omission came from, so that we can assure people that we're actually on top of this.
Good.
And also acknowledging that this is kind of a big thing, but that we only learned about this and the impact in the last 2 weeks since the last select board meeting. So we are being as open as we can be about this. So as Erica said, it was a discrepancy between the article and the budget. The budget was right, the article was wrong, and we collected less in taxes in fiscal year 24 and 25 than we needed. And the discrepancy can be explained by a complicated spreadsheet formula that nobody noticed, not town staff, not town auditors, and the professional auditor does not look at the articles. She only looks at the budget and the expenses and the income. And so, but this year, she did look at the articles to try to figure out why this was happening a second year. So, am I correct in that? Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so, the town report goes through everybody. It goes through the select board, it goes through the town office, it goes to the town administrators, and everybody will remember that at each town meeting, one of the town auditors stands up and says, oh, we had this mistake, we left this out, go to change this on page 47 or whatever. But nobody made this kind of discovery until recently, except that Chip was asking questions a few months ago about the
Yeah.
shortfall in the budget for 24. Erica, I think when you said that $189,000 was moved, maybe it was moved from reserve.
Yes.
Normally, that kind of move is done by authorization of the select board, because when there is a transfer from one fund to another, and we're talking about the general operating budget and the 007 reserve fund. So it's kind of been traditional, right? That every year if there's transfers from or into a fund, that the select board authorizes those, which we're gonna do tonight for this
Yes.
past fiscal year. And also authorizes AJEs, adjusting journal entries, so that anything that the auditor discovers in her findings, the select board authorizes in discussion and in motions and in a select board meeting prior to the final findings of the auditor being submitted to the select board, and the select board gets a chance to review the draft audit, actually, before it is published and approved, right?
Yeah.
And this is something that is mind-numbingly boring, I guarantee you. Having done it looked at it line by line by line by line for several years, but not the last 3 years, I confess, because I was not here. It's mind-numbingly boring. So, the impact on fiscal year 24 is that we had to draw down the reserve fund by $189,000. The impact, it seems, so far, on fiscal year 25, which closed in June 30th of this year, is that we have actually about a $6,000 surplus, despite not raising approximately $250,000 in taxes that we should have raised.
You mean from delinquent taxes?
No,
No.
from taxes, because we raise taxes based on expenses and revenues that we
Okay.
project. And we forgot to include in that a certain number of dollars. So we asked the town to give us permission to raise taxes for fewer dollars than we needed. Okay, why doesn't the dollars raised, or why doesn't the dollars that we're short equal the amount that we made the mistake? You asked, right?
Right,
Because we got more money in taxes or less money in taxes. We had some more delinquent taxes or more, or more money in tax revenues than we thought we'd have. We had less expenditures than we thought we might have, or we had more. So last year, for example, we did not spend $68,000 on law enforcement. More about that in a minute. So there's never gonna be we forgot to include this number in the taxes to be raised, so therefore we have this shortfall in the budget, because there's so many other variables in both income and revenues during the year. Anybody have any questions right now?
Well, so I definitely hear all that, and, it's definitely fixable. I think the big issue, or one of the issues that stems from this, is that the reserve fund
I'm
is
gonna get there.
right down to
Yeah.
the low part. So the way I look at it is, it's a series of dominoes. So the select board approved budget was 1.2 million in change, right? The article.
003.
003. But the article approved by voters was just over $1 million. So the gap was 237 grand understated taxes. So the shortfall came up 189,000 and change short. So that got pulled into the reserve fund.
That's fiscal year 24.
Yes. In 25, the error was repeated, right? So now the reserve fund is entering 26 with about $116,000 in it, which is only right? It's about 16 grand above the minimum. So that's got to be a concern. And then in 26, there's going to be a pending crunch because my projections show a $246,000 shortfall for FY 26. So if that plays out, the reserve fund could be not empty, but pretty depleted. The reserve fund for FY 26, the FY 26 hasn't closed yet, but early projections show another large deficit baked in. So without corrective action, the reserve fund would not be able to absorb it. It's like, you've got an emergency house fund at home and you're down to one more bill. Ellie?
I hear what you're saying. I'm not sure where you're getting your projection for 26. We will have, because the select board voted on annual tax sales, we will be having extra money coming in from tax sales that was not coming in for years.
Right.
I mean, last select board meeting, I believe I reported on
40.
I think it was 89,000 coming in just in the week before the tax sale.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep on top of that and all the folks that have made agreements, because we will be doing another round of tax sales in the early spring of 26. So that's one thing that I think will be helpful, because we don't count on bringing in delinquent taxes in our
Right.
budget. So that'll be helpful. Is it something that we have to keep our eye on? Definitely. Do we have to consider what we're spending right now? Definitely.
Because we have been in communication with Bonnie, and I don't mean to cut you off, but, I sent all this to Bonnie, and she sent back your understanding of what occurred is correct. And then, she went on and explained. So if you want to look at, is it fixable, some of what we came up with is you've got to accept that FY 26 is going to likely run a gap. How much of a gap, we don't know yet. Track it closely. You have to move FY 25 surpluses into the proper reserve funds, which requires a select board motion.
Which we have on
Which
order
we're ready to
tonight.
do.
We're ready to do. We need to cancel the law enforcement assignment fund. There's no balance to support it. We've got to have a working plan for how the reserve fund will be restored. And then long-term, we need to double check, obviously, the steps aligning NEMRIC budgets with the article language. We've got to modernize budget prep by moving from Excel to NEMRIC. The question is, do we need to revise the reserve fund policy so the thresholds are clearer, like general versus combined funds? And select board authorization is documented for every use. And we need to establish a built-in cross-check between article numbers and the NEMRIC budget totals. Just, there was just a systemic breakdown that just nobody caught, because you look at the numbers and, yeah, you're not gonna go, oh. And we had everybody on the planet look at this thing.
But I think that that's a lot to take in all at once right
Yeah.
now, so I want to go back to Ellie.
Again, I agree with you with what you just said. Those things definitely need to be taken into consideration. In some of my conversations also, you know, we need to look at what actually needs an article to be voted on. We need to look at what defines an operating budget versus the whole budget.
What was the other
An
thing?
operating versus an entire budget.
Oh, okay.
Right? And we need to pay attention to those particulars that you're talking about. And I know that through, also, we had a period of time, 2 or 3 years ago, when Erica and I first came in, Sheila was leaving, and there was a learning curve, and unfortunately, we made some errors. And, you know, we're really, we're taking on that responsibility, and owning up to the fact that we need to be more careful. You know, it's
just a systemic break. It's one of those things, like, it's a systemic breakdown. There isn't
I don't
one.
know if it's systemic, it's just
Well, I
that
mean-
that's a pretty
Okay,
harsh
I think
word.
that
Well, if you
we,
encompass everybody that had a chance to look
I
at
think
it, right?
that,
That's systemic. That's what I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's computer oriented. I'm just saying, with this as a talented, brilliant group, we had a chance to look at it, Erica, Ellie, the local auditors, the CPA, even though she doesn't do the articles, did 2 years worth of budget. And that's a pretty talented group. We all saw those numbers and no one made the connection. So that's why I'm saying it's systemic. We're all in the same system, but this, for some reason, just didn't get flagged. But it's that's just the way it works. It's systemic.
okay, Sheila, did you want to speak to this?
I did want to say that we are, September 8th. So we are 8 weeks or 9 weeks into the budget, so we actually into the fiscal year 26. And with Ellie's good work on delinquent tax income, and with our being super careful for the next 40 weeks of this year, we should be in better shape than Chip has projected, I hope. And we also do have a responsibility as a select board to set this right, to figure out how to account for the losses, not just in terms of creating, making sure that our formulas and our figures match, but also in terms of planning how to get the reserve fund back if it falls down below where it's supposed to be. And people are looking into how to revise the reserve fund. And we do have, Erica, probably 2 motions to do tonight.
Yes.
To
You have 2 transfers to do. The surplus from the 003 budget, from the 003 general fund, has a surplus of $5,981.34. So that should be transferred to the fund balance reserve fund 007 in accordance with the fund balance reserve fund policy. The highway fund has a surplus of $155,748.69. That should be transferred to the highway surplus fund 010. And there is another motion to reevaluate the assignment of the law enforcement funds, seeing as there is no fund balance to reassign. So that's 3.
Sorry.
Tara, did you want
Well,
to speak to
Does
this?
Steve have a question?
Oh,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only 2 ways to have money. One is to make money and the other way is to save it.
Yeah.
So, I think, is it feasible that the town is able to save through every possible, no shoestrings this year? So the issue comes up is it feasible that the town would be able to save enough in 26 by being very, very careful that this $200,000 potential deficit that is projected for 26 won't bring the town to its knees?
possible,
Possible.
we're looking at it. Looking at it.
I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session because I have questions that are legal in nature.
I'll second that.
So, let's see, if we want to go into executive session, then, I don't have the statutes.
While you're looking for that, could I make one more comment? That when somebody makes transfers $189,000 or some amount of that money from from the reserve fund to the town fund, somewhere along the line, some bells should go off. So I think it should be a sign off that no one can move X number of dollars over a set amount from the reserve fund to the main fund without a double sign off and somebody saying, what happened? All right, so I think that if you go into executive session, I'm just asked that you make some, if you're talking about systemic or a process, make it a double sign off to move things from the reserve fund to the regular fund.
It's generally a select board sign off.
Thank you, Steve.
Alright, so I don't have that.
Okay,
Out here, I don't have.
Is it something about legal negotiations or something like that could jeopardize? That's
Yeah,
the
the
language
finding is that
trying to.
premature knowledge could potentially put a town or a person at
Okay.
significant disadvantage. But this wouldn't be this, it would be,
okay, and so I don't have the statute number to add to that.
well, it is the same statute.
Oh, it is the same one.
But it isn't this reason.
Okay, well, this is my first time in moving into an executive session. Okay, so I move that we enter executive session in accordance with 1 VSA section 313A1B, inviting Erica and Ellie to participate based on the possibility that premature knowledge of discussions could potentially put the town or a person involved at a significant disadvantage. Is that adequate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Second, I think,
Then
Oh.
vote.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
We have to vote on that.
I just wanna say that if this is not the right statute and we do get called on statute things, we should also add that Erica will confirm the statute and number in, if
Okay.
it's different from what
Yeah,
you've
that's
cited.
the-
Okay,
That's the open
so-
meeting law statute, so that's correct.
Okay,
So we don't have to add something. Okay, so is there a second to going into executive session?
I'll second it.
Okay. Well, I guess Tara had originally suggested
Yeah,
it,
Chip
so,
seconded. Also,
Okay.
but then you did the finding and Mike
okay.
seconded
So,
that.
all in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and so now everybody,
Okay, so I need to,
so I move that we come out of executive session at 8:27 PM, having taken no action as a select board. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? No, okay, so all in favor of coming out of executive session, say aye.
Aye.
And I say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Okay. So, in our executive session, we discussed legal concerns regarding financial discrepancies between the projected FY 24, 25, and 26,003 budgets and the articles related to taxes to be raised. The select board acknowledges these discrepancies and understands that additional corrective actions need to be taken going forward. And the public will be finding out more about this
In the
as
coming weeks.
we develop them. It's something we take very seriously and we will make plans. And you will know about them. So, next on our agenda, I believe, is transfers to 010. Is that called 010 or
Yeah.
0
So 010 is.
surplus
Yeah.
and 007 reserve funds?
So 010 is the highway surplus and 007 is the general reserve that comes from 003, the general budget.
Okay, I so move. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there discussion?
Yes, I think you should detail the amounts
Okay,
to transfer in each one. Here they are right here.
okay, so we're
I
doing,
think 2 motions then.
okay, so the first motion is for the, which is the 01 surplus?
We just do it like this. The top one is the general fund.
Okay,
so
the
that's
general
007.
fund, the general fund for FY '25 has a surplus of $5,981.34. This amount should be transferred to the fund balance reserve fund in accordance with the fund balance reserve fund. So, I so move. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor of that motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Oh, abstaining. Okay, we have passed the transfer. Okay, so then we're going to do the highway fund? Okay, so I move that I'll just simplify this. The highway fund for FY '25 has a surplus of $155,748.69. This amount should be transferred to the highway surplus fund in accordance with the fund balance reserve fund. And so I move this amount,
That the select board approve this
that
transfer.
I move, thank you so much. I move that the select board approve this transfer. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor of this transfer indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, we have approved the transfer. And,
Could I just go on record as
Yes.
saying that I forgot to say aye both times because I was not quick enough on the draw, but I do say aye for both times.
okay, so let the record, let the minutes
Grandchildren brain.
record this. Okay, and so next we have the law enforcement assigned fund balance fund. And so our motion will be to eliminate this fund.
Well,
Rescind the
we
motion.
can rescind.
Oh, rescind the motion.
Rescind the motion you made last meeting to create the fund. because
Okay.
It can't be created.
Okay, so,
And we actually have some wording for that?
oh, okay, would you like to read it?
Sure. In consideration of the fact that the $68,000 budgeted for law enforcement in fiscal year '25 budget was not spent, and that there are no funds to assign to the fund voted on at the 8/25/2025 select board meeting, the select board rescinds its vote to create an assigned law enforcement fund balance fund. Period.
Okay, so the motion will be to.
So moved.
So moved, yes, to rescind last week's vote. Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I do.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
have one thing to say. We do note that law enforcement is a major concern in this town, particularly speeding, and that we collectively have spent much time over the years considering different options for law enforcement and actually using different options, and that the most recent one was the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office considering doing a regional policing law enforcement solution. And we should still explore those options. We should still be part of those discussions and hopefully be able to partake in that kind of solution going forward.
Mhm.
Oh, good
And
point.
budget for it accordingly.
Good point, nice job.
Okay, and thank you for that addition. I mean, it really provides a reassuring context that the select board is really on top of speeding concerns and public safety. So are we ready to vote? Okay, all in favor of rescinding this vote of last week's on the law enforcement assigned fund balance fund indicate by saying aye. Aye, opposed, abstaining. Okay, we have rescinded this with the proper context. Okay, next comes the fund balance reserve fund policy. Can we speak to that?
Well, I just would like to say that I don't expect a vote on this tonight.
Okay,
It's something that we can work on
okay,
and draft with the help of our attorney and our auditor.
okay. Well, this is important town business, and I want to reiterate that we're all, except for our town staff, we're all volunteers here, and we're working to wrap our minds around and truly understand these complex problems. The work of select board management of town affairs has gotten so much more complex just in the years that I've served on the select board since 2017. And at the point that the original reserve fund was created, that was what, 2013?
2013.
2013. I mean, this was sort of a different town, at least in terms of what it took to navigate through the times we're living in. I didn't know I would feel nostalgic about 2013, but this is difficult, I think it's really, I so admire the people, our staff who are working so hard to just keep us really forward-looking and compliant with everything we need to pay attention to, and it's hard, that's just it. So, thank you so much for Ellie and Erica for trying to guide us through this. Okay, so now we're flipping over the agenda page and it's other business. Does anybody know of any other business? Well, I'm so grateful. Did we have any correspondence?
Well, I just, right before we walked in here, I got a press release from the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office that is pertinent right this minute. And I will
We're all going to be arrested? No.
let you know what it says. 1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it says that the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office has had its series of public meetings about their regional policing program. And the final one will be September 22nd at 5:30. And yes, that is a select board meeting day. It will be at the Windham County Courthouse in Newfane and on Zoom. And it is open to the public and intended to gather feedback about the future of policing in rural Vermont. A follow-up meeting will be hosted based on public feedback and proposal for future action, but Mark prefaces this meeting notification by saying he plans to present his plan, which we all know basically what it is, to the Vermont legislature in January 2026.
And what time is his Zoom meeting?
His Zoom meeting is Monday the 22nd at 5:30.
Oh,
So
wow.
So we could have a long sit at this table, zooming in.
we could,
Okay. Okay, all right, so now it's time for actions taken at this meeting. So, in addition to congratulating ourselves for a great Guilford Fair, we approved the minutes, we approved the warrants, we authorized Erica to order Windham Regional's traffic study report. We authorized the participation in the new opioid settlement. We gave our portion of the opioid abatement fund back to the state for their use. We went into executive session and took no action. And let's see, the actions that we did take were transfers from the 010 surplus and the 007 reserve funds. We rescinded the vote on the law enforcement assigned fund balance fund, and now we are entertaining a motion for adjournment.
May I ask one quick question?
Yes.
Erica, did you ever have a chance to figure out VLCT's response to the data mining trolling emails that come in?
no.
Just
No.
curious.
I have something to add to that though, which is the companies that make their living off of all the RFPs that we put out, like Construct Connect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I get a lot of those emails. Every RFP I get a dozen requests for stakeholders. So it's an issue.
Yeah. Just curious.
Yeah.
I move we adjourn the meeting then.
So I would definitely second that.
8:41.
8:41. Okay, is there a second?
I'd second that.
Oh, you have seconded.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Okay, so thanking everybody for their patience and hard work and forbearance. This meeting is adjourned at 8:42. Blessings on all of you and congratulations to Ellie
Yeah.
on being a mother-in-law.
Miranda, you guys didn't vote on that.
Oh, we didn't vote on
I'm
adjournment?
so sorry.
Oh, okay. All in favor of adjournment, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so it's 8:42.
There you go.